Hey, School Zone audience, Matt coming to you here from sunny North Texas outside of Fort Worth. Got none other than Mr. Mike Carran on the line today. The first person I think we've talked for the zone that's out of the country as we have our conversation. So, Mike, good to have you on. Give everybody an idea where you're at, and we'll jump in from there.
Great. Well, thanks, Matt. I appreciate the time. And I happen to be on a sailboat in La Paz, Mexico right now. Just a little vacation, and it's been a great journey, and nice to get to some warm weather, and really enjoying the area down here.
So, your company is Charity Valet. Give us a little background before we jump into specifically what you guys do for schools, et cetera, and organizations. Give us a little background, what you've done previously, how you found yourself in the school fundraising space, that type of thing.
Yeah. So my background is in technology and registration specifically. I've been in the golf business for close to 20 years. We've done a lot of work with online registration for tee times and aggregated registration for tee times for different golf courses, and so that's my history. And while I was doing that, I was a football coach for about 10 years, and each year we went through the whole fundraising challenges, and at the end of the day, we kind of decided to start this technology company up to make it easier, what we felt would be easier for schools and teams to raise money quickly, and using technology, and having opportunity for people to participate all over the country and world as it is, to help the kids out and help the team out.
So, in your 10 years of coaching, where did the whole idea come from, and how did you?
So as a football coach and any coach of any team, whether it's a sports team or you're in charge of band or theater, everybody unfortunately right now has to raise money for their cause. And as a football coach, it was always just a hassle. Even though we had people that were doing it, it's still a matter of whatever it was that we were selling, if it was candy or wrapping paper. Nothing against that at all. I mean, it was successful for us. At the time, it just seemed to be laborious a little bit, and chasing the kids down and so forth. So, being in the technology space and the registration space specifically, we kind of came up with this idea of doing online raffles and events, registration for events, golf events, and making it easier for people to participate and to do it very quickly. And our product can raise, we can get it set up, a custom website set up in an hour, and they can be raising money in several hours. And we have some historical data of football teams and other teams raising, upwards of $50,000 in a matter of just a few weeks. So it was just really trying to figure out a way for these people to get the money they need as quickly as possible.
And talk a little bit then about your program, and maybe what makes it different, what makes it more effective and easier from the team or the organization perspective, and then more specifically what you guys do in the process to help them raise the money.
Right. So the most common product, I guess, that we offer the schools and the teams is an online raffle, and we do we do it in different forms. We have a dice roll as an example. So the team gets a custom website, and all the kids are loaded into the software. So grandma, living in Wisconsin can buy a raffle ticket and select the kid's name, and that kid will get credit for that, and it'll show up on a leaderboard. And so it's not geologically, it's open anywhere. So the kids when someone buys a raffle ticket, they show up on the leaderboard, and they can be competitive with other kids. They can have freshmen versus seniors type of thing, and that competition adds a lot of times a fair amount of additional sales too. If a kid is required to sell 5 tickets, for example, at $25 each, and there's some sort of incentive to offer, whether it's financial incentive or a gift, or it could just be, that the kid doesn't have to do the sprints at practice or something like that. And that generally raises more money. And the other kind of neat feature we have is when the kids are required to sell a certain amount of tickets, a certain amount of money, our software will track and make sure that all the kids have sold that minimum. And if they haven't, the parents can get notified via text or via email, letting them know that you've only sold 2 tickets, you need to sell 3 more as a minimum. Easier for the administration to track that and keep tabs on where everybody is when it comes to selling the tickets. And then at the event, it could be an event, it could be a virtual event. It doesn't have to be actually at an event. They'll roll the dice 4 times, and that dice 4 die combination is the winner, and that's the person with that 4 die combination wins a prize. That prize again could be cash. A prize could be a trip. It could be anything that they want to raffle off. Generally, it's cash. $1,000 or $1,500, just because of the fact that it's not necessarily geographically in the same spot. People could be all over the country. So, excuse me. So cash generally is the way it works, and the school keeps 90% of all the funds raised, and we also absorb the credit card fees too. So I apologize. Let me turn it off. So it's at the end of the day, they raise a high percentage of the money raised they keep, and it works great. We also have helicopter ball drops, so same concept. It could be off a crane or a helicopter, and instead of a die combination, they're getting a number on a golf ball. And when they drop all the balls, the ball closest to the hole or closest to the target would win that prize. It's the same technology, just a different way of doing it.
So let's talk a little bit about, first off, is the organization, school, whatever, are they either having the prize donated, or in many cases is that prize taken out of the collections? Is it a predetermined amount from the very beginning, or is it a percentage of collection? Talk us through some of those specifics a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great question. Generally speaking, what we recommend, they can certainly look for donations, and that's ideal. If it's going to be cash, if it's going to come out of the money raised, we like to try to get it somewhere around 5%. Again, the people paying for the tickets and paying for the raffle tickets they're not doing it to make the money, right? They're doing it to support their nephew or their grandchild, and no one's expecting to win. So the amount of money that the winning amount of money really doesn't have to be very much. So it could be donated, and it certainly could come out of the kitty. If they're going to raise $50,000, if that's the goal, then something like $2,500 is a pretty fair amount of money for that amount of money raised. So the ticket price also is important too. That's everything is done through the administration of the school. They decide the prize, they decide the ticket cost. But one of the things that we notice the most is they want to charge like $10 for the ticket, for example. And grandma's going to spend $20 just as easily. She's going to spend $10. So they generate twice the amount of money. So we try to get the ticket price in the $20, $25 range, and that seems to be the sweet spot where everybody can afford that, and they can raise a maximum amount of money. In fact, if they have to sell 5 tickets, they can put it on Facebook, and we find out that people that they went to high school with, someone wants to go ahead and spend $25 and help support that kid. So it's very easy for them to raise their minimum amount of tickets, and it can be done very quickly.
So do you guys provide tools on the technology side for them to be able to do that, as far as, let's say, Johnny or Steve or whatever, does use a lot of social media and chooses to go that route, over and above talking to folks, they might run across over the course of a week or two. How does that work? How does that interface with your guys' platform? Transactionally, that type of thing.
Yeah. So we give the parents like a recommended best practices to raise the money as easily as possible. So our technology doesn't interface directly with Facebook or social media specifically, but we ask them to send an email out. We'll give them the information to send in the email, that they can lease a template. They can send an email to their friends and family, and then we'll also give them examples of social media posts that they can do with that we've seen successful results from those type of promotions, and that verbiage on the email seems to work the best. So it doesn't directly interface, though. Every sale is tracked by the player on the team. So regardless of where they're coming from, that child or the player will get the credit for it, both through the system and then on the leaderboard itself.
So if an organization or school wants to work with you guys, what's the process? I mean, is it literally all online where they just register type thing, or do they have somebody that's assigned to them from your team to help walk them through the process? How does all that work?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I almost all the time we interface with the administrator, and it could just be one person. That's the other kind of nice thing about this too, is it doesn't require a committee, although they usually have one. It's something that they contact us, and then we will develop the website for them, generally speaking. But there are tools that they can do it themselves if they would like. They can upload the photographs and the logos, and they can do it all themselves. We offer a service to do it for them for free. They send us some images and some logos, and we can get it done pretty quickly. And then at that point, if they want to go in and edit and change some things, they're welcome to do that at any time. We give them trainings. We'll spend an hour on the phone with them, kind of walking through the system if they would like to make their own changes. But it is very, very simple. It's very intuitive. And once it's set up, it's ready to go, and it's just ready to sell. From that point, they just start sending emails out, and it's just good to go. So it's a very, very quick turnaround from contacting to being able to begin raising money.
So on your website, charityvalet.com, you guys talk about, galas, banquets, golf events. How does all that potentially tie in to the technology that we've been discussing? Yeah.
So the products we offer goes from something as simple as a 20-person hockey team looking to raise $5,000 to an event that has a 3-day event where they're raising $3.5 million. So we have technology from kind of A to Z to support that, to support large galas, small galas. We do, they could have a casino night that they're already planning on having. They could use our system for all the registration and sponsorship management and so forth. And then they can add a dice roll to that if they want as well, and continue kind of adding different technologies on top of each other and layering those in to raise even more money. So yeah, we do a lot of golf events and a lot of galas, and then the more and more people are starting to layer on a ball drop at a golf event or a dice roll at a gala.
What about the auction valet? How does that? I assume the technology has the ability to enable them to do auctions as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So if they have a if they're having for example, if they're having an event and they're having a silent auction, we have technology to allow them to do that all through their mobile phones. So the kind of the current old way of doing that obviously is to write down on a piece of paper your name and then the bid amount, and then someone else walks up and puts their name and increases the bid amount. And our technology is done completely online. So you look on your phone, you decide which item you'd like to bid on, you place that bid, and then you're notified if somebody outbids you immediately, and you can just respond back in a text saying that you're increasing the bid. So it's kind of neat. The bid wars go on, and it lets people know who's bidding against them. And that technology also isn't geographically restricted. In fact, people can be bidding on the auction items anywhere in the country, and they don't have to be at the event specifically to be doing that, which increases the audience, and at the end of the day increases the amount of money raised for those auction items, because instead of having 100 people, they could have thousands of people that are bidding on the items. So that's a fun technology to use too. It's really fun to see that we can get big screen TVs with all the items and the leaders, and it makes it a very competitive environment, and a lot of people seem to enjoy that.
I just know there's a couple events I'm a part of every year where there is silent auctions, and I can see how having it in my pocket on my phone versus getting up from the table, several times over the course of a several hour meal or whatever would be so much more effective for the raising of money, so much more efficient. I know there's been numerous where I bid on something as an example, and then the person that was really, really interested in it stepped out to the restroom or something, and then the silent auction was over and they were going to bid more, and just all that stuff that happens, in real world interaction versus virtual. I can see that could be a huge benefit. And then, like you said, of course, the fact that you can have people bidding literally all over the place, not just in that room or at that event, can have a huge impact.
Yeah, and there's features with that as well, where you can put in like a maximum bid. Say the item has a $300 retail value, and the initial bid is $50, for example. So you could go on your phone or your tablet and put a bid in for a max bid of $150, for example. So what'll happen then is from the product perspective, it'll go from $50 to $60, whatever the bid increment is. And then if someone goes in and puts a bid for $70, it'll automatically outbid them and put $80 in until it reaches your maximum bid. So you can look at these items and decide, okay, I'm willing to spend up to X amount of dollars on this item. And then if someone bids more than your max bid, then you get notified saying, all right, you've been outbid on your maximum bid. Would you like to, bid more on that item? So it's nice, so you can enjoy dinner and you can enjoy, socializing, and then, check your phone, or your phone will beep or whatever if someone's outbid, and yeah, it's a lot less walking around.
Have used for years. I don't even know if it exists or not anymore. Probably something might not be the same anymore, but on eBay, I used a platform called Auction Sniper for years, to where it essentially did the same thing, where I'd decide how much I wanted to bid on something, and then would set up the Auction Sniper, and it did all the bidding up without me having to be focusing my attention on that. I could be living my life. So that's really, really cool to have that in the charity space.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's something that we're constantly evolving, and we're constantly, every event we have, there's feedback that we get, and we're small, we're nimble, and we love building technology, and so we keep adding on to it and adding different features to the products, and yeah, it's been a ton of fun. It really has, and it's nice to be in a space where you're helping people and they're raising more money than they've raised before, and it's a feel good business for sure. We're really, really happy to be in this space.
So where did the name Charity Valet come from?
Yeah, just just thinking that we're helping charities, and it seemed like a good name, and kind of threw it around back and forth, and felt like we could expand on it a little bit with auction valet or other products inside that space that using the valet. So yeah, it was a collaborative effort, I should say.
So Mike, who would you say then is your ideal group or organization? Excuse me, is there an age group in the schools that makes most sense? Or just give us some specifics, since most of the audience is educators, administrators, and volunteers from the school environment.
Yeah, I think the ones that we seem to make the most impact are the ones who've been using the traditional methods, and teams and clubs that have struggled. Could be the smaller ones too, with 30 kids, and they need to raise $15,000 for a travel trip somewhere, and it's just hard to do that with those few amount of kids. So that the technology really fits well into that. It also fits very well into when they're limited on time, when they have less than a month and they need to raise $50,000 for the football team for whatever it happens to be. Something comes up maybe, and to be able to organize a fundraiser in a month and to achieve a goal like that is a bit challenging. So that's another niche for us too, I believe, is people who need to raise money quickly, because again, this can be set up in a day, and emails can go out from the kids, and they're generating sales immediately. But we certainly love the larger teams. They just raise more money, but the smaller teams is a kind of going back to that feel good kind of thing too. When you have again, we did a hockey team, I think, that had 15 players that raised $7,500 in a little less than a month, and they were just thrilled. I mean, it was just something that they didn't expect to have that kind of success, and sort of exceeded their goals, and that's just something that again is great to see and great to be able to be part of.
So Mike, if folks want to get some more information and potentially partner with Charity Valet and one of your many programs that you offer, what is the best way for them to reach out and to begin that relationship with you guys?
Yeah, so jumping on the website, and our phone number is there, and there's a contact us form. Certainly, if they would like to have us reach out to them, we can do that via the contact us form, and we're always happy to answer the phone and get things started. We can do a demo in about 15 minutes for people that really walks them through the different platforms based on what they're looking for and their needs, and the money they're looking to raise and the amount of time they have to raise it. We can get a good 15-minute demo, and they'll fully understand what it's going to take, and what will be required.
And you guys, just so you know, that's charity.com. Toll free if you want to call is 844-864-9506. Mike, it's been great having you here in the school zone. Any last words that you want to make sure you leave with folks before we sign off?
No, I just really appreciate the time and the opportunity, Matt, and pleasure talking to you. And again, you certainly offer a great service to your audience, and I appreciate the opportunity to be involved in it.
Well, and you got to love the technology today when you can be in Mexico on a boat and I'm here in Texas, and we're able to carry on a conversation as if we're in the same room and still get just as effectively our message across to folks who have interest. So appreciate your time being and joining us in the school zone, and man, enjoy your holiday down there in Mexico.
Well, thank you, Matt. I appreciate it very much, and you enjoy your holiday as well.
Thanks.
All right, take care.